Hey everyone, have you ever wondered what your purpose is here on earth, what God has in store for you, and what forgiveness and love is all about? Well, during my book report, I read The Shack, and this book was definitely an eye-opening. Like the main symbols and themes for this book was Christianity, love, forgiveness, and life. The main characters in this book, if you can kind of see here, is this little girl right here is Missy. That's Mac, Nan, Josh, and Kate. This family, Mac struggles with believing in God, and his family goes on a camping trip, just a normal trip any family would take. Well, Missy, the little girl, comes up missing, and Mac tries to figure out what went wrong, why it happened. A lot of his questions and concerns was, why did God let this happen? In Mac's past, his father was an alcoholic and was never there for Mac, and so he believes that God was never there. And basically, Mac goes back to the shack, which is a family shack that they have up in the mountains, and he gets there, and God is there, and so is, a couple of other people that God brings along to help Mac. Well, towards the end, and it was a plot twist for me, Mac goes there on the weekend while Nan and the kids go and visit her sister. Well, he gets there on a Friday, and towards the end, God takes Mac on a journey about what forgiveness is. So Mac is forgiving his father for not being there for him or with him through everything, and then Mac slowly has to forgive the killer that killed his little girl, and which should be hard for any parent to go through. Well, towards the end of the book, I hate telling people the book. I was explaining this to my grandma last night, and she's reading it next, and she was like, don't tell me the end of it. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I have to for my book report. But the end of it, when Mac left on a Friday, but it says on a Sunday he got in a car accident. Well, actually, Mac got in a car accident that Friday. So this whole time that he's been with God, and God's been, following Mac's footsteps on trying to find his daughter Missy, but God already knows where Missy is. Missy's with God already. And so God's showing Mac, where the body is, and teaching him ways to forgive and love and not worry so much about what's happening in life all the time. Well, towards the end of it, Mac finally realizes that, he forgives his dad, he forgives the killer, and God shows Mac where his little girl is. So then when Mac wakes up and Nan's sitting there in the hospital, Nan's like, you got in a car accident on Friday. Well, then Mac wants to argue, and he says, no, it was Sunday because I left for the shack on Friday. So Mac's been in a coma for 3 or 4 days now, and in that coma is where he started to believe in God again. And, that's hard for a lot of people on believing what we have here on earth or the afterlife and why God does what he does. I chose this book mainly, for several reasons. My cousin told me to read it, but also I'm big on Christianity, and I'm big on, having a purpose in life and the love of life and, what life has in store. And life on earth is short. You never know what's going to happen when you wake up. You never know what's going to go on throughout that day. But another reason I chose this book is because there's a movie about it, and I am so excited that I'm actually going and seeing the movie Thursday with my cousin. She waited for me to finish it. I'm actually going to upload the trailer on Blackboard for you guys to look at it. I would highly suggest this book. This book was an eye-opener for me. It's all around 10 out of 10. It was a 10. It was an amazing book. And I'm excited to see the movie, and I hope the movie follows through with the book, because I know a lot of when movies come out that had a sequel in a book, they don't really go with it. There's parts that are missing or something like that, so I'm kind of excited. But the back of the book, the one thing I really liked here was it says, "The Shack is the most absorbing work of fiction I've read in many years. My wife and I laughed, cried, and repented on our own lack of faith along the way. The Shack will leave you craving for the presence of God." This story reads like a prayer, like the best kind of prayer, filled with sweat and wonder and surprise. If you read one work of fiction this year, let this be it. And I truly believe that this book, I couldn't put it down. I would read it. I had it in the car with me, so I'm at a stoplight. I open up real quick and I read it. It's just one of those books that you want to know what happens next. You want to know what God has in store for Mac and his family and basically what's all happening. But I will leave you with that, and I hope you guys really take in consideration on reading The Shack. Thank you.